Stop. Just for a moment, stop. I know what you're about to do. I know that craving feels like it's burning through your entire body right now. I know your mind has already made a dozen justifications for why this time is different, why you deserve this, why it won't hurt to give in just once more. But before you do, before you take that step you've taken so many times before, I'm asking you to give me just a few minutes. That's all. You can still make whatever choice you're going to make after we talk, but right now, in this moment, just pause with me. Because I want to tell you something important. What you're feeling right now isn't the truth. It's loud and it's insistent and it feels completely overwhelming, but it's not the truth. It's your addiction talking, and addiction is a liar. So let's talk about what's really happening here. Right now, your brain is in a state of heightened arousal. Your neurochemistry is sending urgent signals that something you need is within reach. Dopamine pathways that have been carved deep by repetition are firing intensely, screaming for the satisfaction they've been trained to expect. Your body might be tense. Your heart rate might be elevated. You might feel restless, anxious, irritable. You might feel a physical ache or emptiness that seems to demand filling. These sensations are real. I'm not dismissing them. But they're not what they're pretending to be. They're pretending to be need, but they're actually want. They're pretending to be solution, but they're actually problem. They're pretending to be relief, but they're actually the next link in a chain that's keeping you trapped. And I know you know this. Somewhere underneath the craving, underneath the urgency, underneath all those convincing justifications your mind is offering, you know this. That's why you're here. That's why some part of you hesitated, searched for something, found these words. That part of you, the part that hesitated, that's the real you. The craving isn't you. It's just a pattern your brain has learned, and patterns can be unlearned.
Let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself. What are you really craving right now? Because I don't think it's actually the substance or the behavior or the escape route your brain is offering. I think it's something underneath that. Are you craving relief from anxiety? That constant hum of worry that makes your chest feel tight and your thoughts race? Are you craving an escape from loneliness? That deep, aching feeling of disconnection from other people, from yourself, from meaning? Are you craving numbness? A way to not feel the grief, the disappointment, the shame, the anger, or whatever emotion is too big to hold right now? Are you craving control? In a life that feels chaotic and overwhelming, is this the one thing that feels reliably available? The one choice that's entirely yours? Are you craving comfort? Something familiar and known in a world that feels uncertain and scary? Are you craving a sense of aliveness, a jolt of intensity to cut through the numbness of depression or the monotony of daily life? Are you craving validation or connection, even if it's the artificial connection of a screen or substance? Whatever it is you're really craving, I want you to know that craving is valid. The need underneath the addiction is real and human and understandable. You're not broken for wanting relief, connection, comfort, or escape. You're human. The only problem is the method you've been using to meet that need. And deep down, you know it's not working. If it was working, you wouldn't be struggling right now. You wouldn't be caught in this cycle of craving and giving in and regretting and trying to quit and craving again. What if we could find a different way to meet that real need? What if there was a path to relief that didn't cost you your self-respect, your health, your relationships, your future? There is. I promise you there is. But it starts with not giving in to this craving. Your brain is probably telling you some version of these lies right now. Let me name them, because when we name lies, they lose some of their power. Just this once won't hurt. But you and I both know it's never just once. This one time becomes the gateway to the next time and the next, until you're right back in the full pattern you've been trying to escape. I've already failed so many times, what's one more? This is the lie that keeps you stuck in cycles. Every moment is a new moment. Every choice is a new choice. Your past doesn't determine your future unless you let it. I deserve this after the day, week, life I've had. You do deserve relief and comfort, but you deserve relief that actually relieves, not a temporary hit followed by shame, regret, and being right back where you started, only now with even less belief in your ability to change. I'll start over tomorrow, Monday, next month. Tomorrow never comes. There's only ever today, only ever this moment. The fresh start you're waiting for is available right now in the choice you make in the next 60 seconds. I'm not strong enough to resist. If you weren't strong enough, you wouldn't have made it this far. You wouldn't be here, reading this, fighting this internal battle. The fact that you're struggling doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're fighting. And fighting takes tremendous strength. Nobody would understand what I'm going through. Millions of people understand exactly what you're going through. Addiction doesn't discriminate. It affects people of every age, background, and circumstance. You're not uniquely broken. You're humanly struggling with something very common and very difficult. I'm just who I am. I can't change. You're not your addiction. You're a complex, valuable person who happens to be struggling with something difficult. And people change every single day. Brains rewire, habits shift, recovery happens. Not easily, but it happens. Which of these lies is speaking to you right now? Can you see it for what it is, a lie designed to get you to give in so the addiction can maintain its grip on you?
I want to be gentle here, but I also want to be real with you. If you give in right now, what's it going to cost you? Think past the next few minutes. Think past the temporary relief or pleasure or numbness. What comes after? The immediate cost, the shame that settles in the moment after you finish, the disappointment in yourself, the regret, the voice in your head that says, I did it again, I'm never going to change. That voice that gets a little bit louder and a little bit more convincing every time you prove it right. The reset cost. If you've been counting days, you're back to zero. All that progress, all those hard-won hours and days of resistance, gone. You have to start the climb from the bottom again, and the bottom is the hardest place to climb from. The strengthening cost. Every time you give in to a craving, you're reinforcing the neural pathway that creates that craving. You're teaching your brain that when it screams loud enough, you'll give it what it wants. You're making it harder to resist the next time. The trust cost. If you've told people you're trying to quit, giving in means lying or hiding. It means creating distance in relationships. It means being less than fully present with people because you're carrying a secret. The health cost. Whether it's your physical health, mental health, sexual health, or overall well-being, this behavior comes with price tag. Maybe you don't see it yet, but it's accumulating. The time cost. How much time will this consume? Not just the act itself, but the before and after, the obsessing, the planning, the hiding, the recovering, the guilt spiral. Time you could be spending on literally anything else. The opportunity cost. What could you be doing instead? What dreams are you putting on hold? What version of yourself are you not becoming because you're stuck in this cycle? The cumulative cost. Each individual time might seem small, but they add up. They add up to months and years of your life spent in this pattern. They add up to a version of yourself you don't want to be. Is the next 30 minutes of temporary relief worth all of that? I'm not asking this to shame you. I'm asking because I want you to make a fully informed choice. The craving only shows you one side, the promise of relief, but you deserve to see the whole picture before you decide. Now let's look at the other option. What happens if you don't give in right now? Immediate, it's going to be uncomfortable. I won't lie to you about that. The craving might get more intense before it subsides. You might feel anxious, restless, irritable. You might feel like climbing out of your skin. But here's what else happens. You prove to yourself that you can sit with discomfort without immediately reaching for relief. You prove that cravings, no matter how intense, are temporary. You prove that you're stronger than you think. Short term, the craving will pass. It might take 15 minutes, it might take an hour, but it will pass. Cravings are like waves. They rise, they crest, they fall. You don't have to ride them all the way to shore. You can let them wash over you and recede. When it does pass, you'll feel relief, but not the hollow, shame-tinged relief of giving in. Real relief. The relief of knowing you fought and won. The relief of self-respect. Medium term, you add another successful resistance to your history. Your brain learns that cravings don't have to be obeyed. The neural pathways of addiction weaken just slightly. The neural pathways of self-control strengthen just slightly. It's cumulative, just like giving in is cumulative, but it's cumulative in the direction you actually want to go. Long term, this is one step toward freedom, toward a life where you're not controlled by cravings, toward becoming the person you actually want to be, toward health, authenticity, presence, wholeness. Every single person who has successfully overcome addiction got there by making this exact choice in a moment exactly like this one, and then making it again and again until the moments between cravings got longer and the cravings got weaker and life got fuller. You can be one of those people. This can be one of those moments. Let's get practical. You need tools, not just concepts. Here's what you can do in this moment. Move your body. Stand up right now. If you're lying down, sit up. If you're sitting, stand. If you're inside, go outside. If you're in the room where you usually act out, leave that room. Physical movement interrupts the behavioral pattern and changes your physiological state. Do jumping jacks. Do push-ups. Go for a walk, even if it's just around your house. Dance. Stretch. Your body and mind are connected. Change one and you change the other. Change your breathing. Your breath right now is probably shallow and rapid. Let's change that. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Repeat 5 times. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's natural calming mechanism. It tells your brain you're not in danger. You don't need fight or flight. You can settle down. Use the 10-minute rule. Tell yourself you can give in to this craving in 10 minutes. Set a timer. During those 10 minutes, do something else, anything else. Call someone. Watch a comedy clip. Read. Journal. Clean something, play a game. Often, by the time the timer goes off, the peak of the craving has passed. If it hasn't, set another 10-minute timer. You don't have to resist forever, just 10 minutes at a time. Reach out to someone. Text or call someone who knows about your struggle. Say, I'm having a hard moment and I need support. If you don't have someone like that, call a crisis line. You don't have to go through this alone. If you absolutely can't reach out to another person, come back here. Reread this. Watch or listen to something else that supports your recovery. Keep your mind occupied with something that reminds you of your values and your goals. Engage your senses. Splash cold water on your face. Hold an ice cube. Take a hot shower. Smell something strong like coffee or peppermint. Taste something sour. Listen to loud music. Your brain can't fully focus on the craving when your senses are engaged with something else. Write it out. Get out your phone or a piece of paper and write. Write what you're feeling. Write what you're craving. Write what it will cost you if you give in. Write what you'll gain if you resist. Write a letter to your future self about how you want to feel tomorrow. The act of writing engages different parts of your brain and creates distance between you and the craving. It makes the craving something you're observing rather than something you're drowning in. Play the tape forward. Close your eyes and vividly imagine what happens if you give in. Not just the act itself, but the after, the cleanup, the shame, the lying if anyone asks, the disappointment, the reset. Really see it and feel it. Now imagine the alternative. Imagine making it through this moment. Imagine how you'll feel tonight when you go to bed having resisted. Imagine how you'll feel tomorrow. Imagine telling someone you're proud of that you fought this and won. Which movie do you want to be living in?
Here's what I see when I look at you, even though I don't know you personally. I see someone who's struggling with something difficult, which makes you human, not defective. I see someone who has kept trying even after failing multiple times, which makes you resilient, not hopeless. I see someone who's here, right now, in this moment, engaging with words designed to help you resist, which means part of you still believes change is possible. I see someone who deserves better than what addiction is offering. You might not see these things about yourself. You might see someone who's weak, broken, failing, hopeless. But that's the shame talking, not the truth. The truth is that you're in the middle of one of the hardest battles a human can fight. The truth is that addiction is a formidable opponent. It rewires your brain, hijacks your reward system, and lies to you constantly. The fact that you're struggling against it doesn't make you weak. It makes you brave. The truth is that you have value and worth that exists completely independently of your struggles. You're not defined by your addiction. You're not the sum of your worst moments. You're a complex human being with strengths and weaknesses, with good days and hard days, with a past that has shaped you and a future that's still being written. And the truth is that you're capable of more than you think. I know you failed before. So have I. So has everyone who's ever tried to change something difficult about themselves. But people do overcome addiction. Every single day, people make the choice you're facing right now, and they choose resistance. And eventually, those choices add up to freedom. You can be one of those people. I believe that about you, even if you don't believe it about yourself yet. You might think this is just one moment among thousands, one craving among countless others. Why does it matter so much whether you give in to this specific one? It matters because every moment is a choice between two paths. One path leads toward the person you want to be. The other leads away from that person. And you choose the path moment by moment, choice by choice. It matters because change doesn't happen in some distant future. It happens now, in moments exactly like this one. Recovery isn't something that happens to you. It's something you choose over and over, in the thousand small moments where you could go either way. It matters because your brain is learning in this moment. Either it's learning that cravings must be obeyed, or it's learning that cravings can be tolerated and will pass. Either it's strengthening the addiction pathway, or it's weakening it. There's no neutral option. It matters because you matter. Your well-being matters. Your freedom matters. Your future matters. The person you could become matters. And it matters because someone else might need you to succeed at this. Maybe it's your children who need a fully present parent. Maybe it's your partner who needs you to be healthy and whole.
Maybe it's a friend who's struggling with the same thing and needs to see that recovery is possible. Maybe it's your future self who deserves to inherit a life that isn't dominated by addiction. Or maybe it's someone you haven't even met yet, someone you'll encounter in a year or 5 years who's struggling just like you are now and needs to hear from someone who made it through, who can look them in the eye and say, "I know it feels impossible, but it's not. I did it. You can too." This moment might seem small, but it's not. It's everything.
I want to be honest with you about what recovery takes, because I think false promises do more harm than good. Recovery requires you to feel things you've been avoiding, all those emotions you've been numbing or escaping or distracting yourself from. You're going to have to feel them. Sadness, anger, grief, loneliness, anxiety, boredom, shame. They're all there, waiting, and recovery means learning to sit with them without immediately reaching for your drug of choice. That sounds terrible, I know, but here's the thing. Those emotions are survivable. They're uncomfortable, but they won't kill you. And when you learn to feel them without running, they lose their power over you. Recovery requires you to change your relationship with discomfort. You've been operating under the belief that discomfort is an emergency that requires immediate relief. Recovery means learning that discomfort is just information, just a temporary state, just something you can sit with until it passes. Recovery requires you to build new patterns. You can't just remove the addiction and leave a void. You have to fill that space with something else. New habits, new coping skills, new sources of meaning and pleasure. This takes time and effort and trial and error. Recovery requires you to ask for help. You can't do this alone. You need support, guidance, accountability. That might mean therapy, support groups, trusted friends, spiritual community, online forums, something that connects you to other people who understand what you're going through. Recovery requires you to be patient with yourself. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have moments where you feel like you're not making progress. You're going to have days where the old patterns feel stronger than the new ones. That's normal. That's part of the process. Recovery isn't linear. And recovery requires you to keep choosing it over and over in moments exactly like this one. It's not easy, but it's worth it, and you're capable of it. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the version of yourself you want to be. Not some perfect, unrealistic version, just you, but free from this struggle. You, but healthier. You, but more present. You, but living in alignment with your values. What does that person's life look like? How do they feel when they wake up in the morning? How do they interact with the people they love? What do they do with their time? What do they feel when they look in the mirror? That person exists as a potential inside you right now. Every time you resist a craving, you're becoming them a little bit more. Every time you choose in alignment with your values instead of your impulses, you're stepping into that version of yourself. The path between who you are now and who you want to be is paved with moments like this one. Moments where it would be easier to give in, but you choose to resist. Moments where the craving feels overwhelming, but you use your tools and ride it out. Moments where you feel weak, but you reach out for support instead of reaching for your addiction. You don't have to become that person overnight. You just have to take one step toward them right now, and then another step tomorrow, and another the day after that. Who do you want to be? And more importantly, what choice is going to take you closer to that person? I want to take a moment to speak directly to the part of you that's hurting. I know you're tired. I know you're carrying so much stress, pain, responsibility, fear, regret. I know that what you're craving right now feels like the only source of relief available to you. I'm not going to tell you that your pain doesn't matter or that you should just tough it out. Your pain is real. Your exhaustion is real. Your need for comfort is real. What I'm asking is for you to consider that you deserve real comfort, not temporary numbness that leaves you worse off than you started, not false relief that comes with a bill you can't afford to pay. Real comfort, real rest, real relief. And I know you might not believe that's available to you, but it is. There are other ways to soothe yourself, to cope with stress, to find peace. They're not as quick or as easy as what you're craving right now, but they're real, and they last, and they don't cost you your self-respect. You deserve kindness, including from yourself. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to protect yourself from the choices that will hurt you, even when those choices are tempting. So, please, be gentle with yourself right now, but also be protective. You're worth protecting. Even when you don't feel like it, even when you're convinced you're not, you are. Let's bring this back to right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not your whole future. Just the next 5 minutes. Can you make it 5 minutes without giving in? Not 5 hours, not 5 days, just 5 minutes. I think you can. I think you can do hard things for 5 minutes. So, here's what we're going to do together. We're going to take those 5 minutes and fill them with something else. For the next 5 minutes, I want you to do something, anything that's not giving in to the craving. Here are some options. Put on a song you love and really listen to it. Call or text someone you care about. Do a household chore that needs doing. Watch a comedy clip that makes you laugh. Write down 5 things you're grateful for. Do a simple puzzle or game on your phone. Take a walk around the block. Make yourself a cup of tea or coffee. Look at photos that remind you of good memories. Read something inspirational. Do some deep breathing or meditation. Organize something small. Pick one. Do it now. Set a timer for 5 minutes. When those 5 minutes are up, check in with yourself. How's the craving? Has it subsided at all, even a little? If you made it 5 minutes, you can make it another 5, and then another. Recovery is built 5 minutes at a time. Let me paint you a picture of tomorrow if you make it through tonight without giving in. You wake up, and the first thing you feel is relief. You made it. You're still on track. You're still fighting. The sun is rising on another day where you proved to yourself that you're stronger than your cravings. You look at yourself in the mirror, and maybe there's less shame in your eyes. Maybe you can hold your own gaze a little longer. Maybe you feel a small spark of pride. You go through your day with a little more energy because you're not carrying the weight of regret and shame. You're a little more present in conversations because you're not distracted by guilt. You're a little more hopeful about the future because you have evidence that change is possible. And when the next craving comes, because it will come, you'll remember this moment. You'll remember that you resisted before and you can resist again. You'll remember that cravings pass, that you have tools, that you're capable of more than you think. That's the tomorrow that's available to you. That's what you're choosing by not giving in right now. Is it worth it? I think it is. I think you are. We're almost at the end of our time together.
You're going to make a choice in the next few minutes. I can't make it for you. Nobody can. But before you do, I want to ask you one final question. Who do you want to be right now? Not who you've been, not what you've done in the past, not your track record or your failures or your struggles. Right now, in this moment, who do you want to be? Do you want to be someone who gives in every time things get hard? Or someone who fights even when fighting is difficult? Do you want to be someone controlled by cravings? Or someone who's learning to sit with discomfort? Do you want to be someone staying stuck in patterns? Or someone who's brave enough to try something different? You get to choose. Right now, this moment is yours. And whatever you choose, I want you to know you're valuable regardless. Your worth isn't determined by this choice. But your trajectory is. Your tomorrow is. The person you're becoming is. So choose wisely. Choose for the person you want to be, not the craving you're feeling right now. Final words. I believe in you. I believe you're capable of resisting this craving. I believe you're stronger than you think. I believe recovery is possible for you. I believe this moment matters, and so do you. Whatever you choose, please be safe. And if you don't make it through this time, if you give in, please don't give up entirely. Come back. Try again. Every moment is a new opportunity to choose differently. But I'm hoping you'll choose differently right now. I'm hoping you'll close this. Put down your phone or computer and do something, anything, that moves you towards the person you want to be instead of away from them. You've got this. One moment at a time. One choice at a time. One breath at a time. Now, go. Choose life. Choose freedom. Choose yourself. I'm rooting for you.